Hey everyone. So it is Tuesday. It's a little over a week since I launched the Nurse Within website, and I wanted to give everyone a quick update. First and foremost, to say thank you for everyone that has shared it. I've received a tremendous response and so much support, and it's really reassured me that I'm doing the right thing. So thank you. But my next point is not so bright. Over the last week, a number of people have reached out to me, and I'm seeing a theme that I can't not talk about. It's really disheartening to hear the stories that are going on out there. It honestly breaks my heart to hear some of the stuff that these people are going through. And without giving a ton of detail, I'm just going to relate the theme that I'm seeing through a lot of the folks that are reaching out to me. And if I had to sum it up in one word, it would be neglect. The number of people that have reached out to me in the last week to tell me that they have an elderly loved one who was previously independent or relatively independent, and ended up in the hospital for some reason unrelated to COVID, but end up at the end of their stay either having to go to a nursing home or come home with essentially total care because they have so far debilitated during their short hospital stay that they can no longer be independent. I know that things are tough in the hospitals and the nursing homes right now. I understand that, but there is no excuse for neglect. There is no excuse for someone to go into the hospital who was previously virtually independent, goes into the hospital with a UTI, and comes out with a stage 4 decubitus ulcer and unable to walk. There's no excuse for that. And it's not the only story that I've heard. I've heard multiple stories in the last week of people, like I said, that were previously some version of independent, have gone into the hospital and are unable to return home to their previous level of function. And to me, that's just neglect. And if you are a healthcare professional that is out there and you're seeing things that are happening that aren't right, you need to say something. There are protections out there. There's Whistleblower Act. There is a statute in New Jersey here that says you have to report these things. If you're seeing people being neglected for whatever reason, it doesn't matter. You have to report it. It is your duty as a nurse, as a doctor, as a CNA. It doesn't matter. Pandemic or not, there's no excuse for these people to be neglected. And I'm super passionate about this because I can't tell you how many times I've heard it. You have to do the right thing. You have to do the right thing. These people are suffering because they're being put in isolation or quarantine or whatever it is. They're not able to see their families. Their families aren't able to advocate for them. And people are suffering. And at the end of the day, if you don't do something about it, it's going to weigh on your conscience. And it's going to chip away at your soul. And if that were your mom or dad or aunt or uncle, you wouldn't allow that to happen. And the fact that daughters and sons and nephews and nieces, they can't be at they're at the bedside. They're putting their faith in you to make sure that their loved one is protected, and they're turned and they're toileted and they're gotten out of bed and they're walked and all that stuff. And if that stuff isn't happening, it's neglect. And it can't be tolerated. So if you're a healthcare provider, if you're someone in nursing home and you're seeing this stuff happening, you need to speak up about it. If you don't feel comfortable going to your supervisors, then there are resources. The Department of Health has an online complaints section. Reach out to me. I'll help you through the process. If you're a family member, there's the Ombudsman in New Jersey is prepared to handle these types of complaints. It's enough is enough with this. We're just following orders or we're overwhelmed or whatever. People are suffering because of it, and the more people I talk to, the more I realize it's prevalent, it's everywhere, and it's heartbreaking. So enough of that. Please just do the right thing. If you're putting your head on the pillow at night and saying, gosh, I could have done better, or that person really is not being treated the way they should be, or, if your loved one has went into a facility at a certain level of function and they have decompensated to a point where they can't function, as they were previously, and there's no obvious reason for it, then it's neglect. So it's been a rough week, but no doubt I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And if I can help anyone in any way, please bring it on. Thanks. Bye.